Oh, and welcome to Season 2, Race 1 of my F1 2021 My Team Career Mode. We're here in Bahrain for the Bahrain Grand Prix, and we've qualified on pole. And of course, we are getting our first look at the new driver lineups for Season 2. Of course, you got Jack Aitken at Mercedes, Mick Schumacher at Red Bull, Guan Yu Zhou moving to Alfa Romeo, Christian Lundgaard coming on as our new teammate, and I think those are the main changes. Oh, and Callum Ilott going to Haas. That also happened. So I was very curious to see how qualifying was going to shake out, because I think this whole season is going to be very interesting because you have two relatively inexperienced drivers in the fastest car on the grid in Mercedes, and I was interested to see how their pace was, and because they're they're not highly rated or highly statted or have as high of stats as Hamilton, for example. The performance might not be as impressive as it would be if Hamilton was in the car, so it could create a scenario where you get races like this where the Ferraris and the McLarens and the Red Bulls are all in there. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. So I guess in terms of the context of the story, quote unquote,
Great work out there today.
well,
Let's have your thoughts.
we'll do this first.
Who would you say is your biggest rival at the moment?
I'll go with Vettel in the Aston
Your
Martin.
teammates seem to struggle this weekend. Is there any cause for concern for the team? Great. Well, that's everything.
As I was saying, my thinking is that, Hamilton won his 8th championship, so I'm just going to say he retired. Even though he didn't actually retire in game, I'm going to say he retired. I mean, that was weird. That was very weird. I must have hit a button. And pressed the thing that I shouldn't have pressed. But anyway, as I was saying, so I could see just, even though he didn't actually retire in game, you could just say Lewis Hamilton retired.
Alright, I think we can call that a successful qualifying. We should be in with a good chance in the race.
He won his 8th championship, won over 100 races, nothing really left for him to accomplish, so we can say that. And as for Verstappen, I guess we'll go with the narrative that he went to IndyCar racing. Maybe he got the itch to wanting to win the Indy 500 or something, and he wants to give IndyCar a try. So Max Verstappen, we'll say that he's IndyCar racing right now. Weather obviously is perfect, no issue there. Our new rival Sebastian Vettel in the Aston Martin. Here you can see where we are in the performance comparison chart. Firmly the 8th team. And we got upgrades coming, so that's all good. And we'll see how we do in the race as we go to the Bahrain Grand Prix.
Months of rumour and speculation all come to an end today as we return to racing for the opening event of what promises to be an enthralling season. Welcome along then to round 1 of this year's Formula One World Championship. We go racing today around 3.36 miles of the magnificent Bahrain International Circuit, with 15 corners and 2 good passing opportunities into turns 1 and 4. Keep an eye out for drivers locking the front left tyre into the tricky braking zone of turn 10. A new season then, a clean slate where anything could happen. Anthony Davidson is with me today as we get another year of Formula One underway.
We're into those tense few minutes before the first race then. Everyone's a little bit nervous about reliability. They haven't been running in the hot, turbulent wake of other cars in practice, and they've not been pushing at 100% for long durations. Let's hope no one has to deal with any nasty surprises.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. It's the owner-driver in pole position then, and Yuki Tsunoda completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Norris, Jack Aitken and Ricciardo, Perez, Mick Schumacher, Vettel and Carlos Sainz, Stroll, Fernando Alonso, Pierre Gasly and Ocon, Lundgaard, Giovinazzi, George Russell and Nikita Mazepin, Bottas, they've taken a grid penalty, Latifi, Ireland and Guan Yu Zhou. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
First race of the season and you're on pole. Let's bring home a win today.
So already we have 1 grid penalty for Valtteri Bottas, which elevates our teammate 1 spot.
Okay, our system checks are good. We need to stay in formation and start bringing the car up to temperature, please. Get some load into the tyres and work the brakes. We want them nice and warm by the end of the lap.
So as always, I'm anticipating a pretty slow getaway, but I think we should be able to regain the lead coming out of turn 1.
The drivers we're racing are Tsunoda and Leclerc. No rain expected. No rain expected for the time being. Dries seem like the best tyre for now.
So, strategy-wise, I tried to make a one-stop work here in Season 1, but it didn't work out. I might try that again, where I try to stretch these softs long before going on to a set of mediums to the end of the race.
Conditions look stable at the moment. No rain currently expected.
At least that's the plan, but we'll see how well that actually works out. And who knows if a safety car will throw a spanner in the works, change the strategy, or force a change in the strategy. You never know. Actually, let me check. Okay, safety car is on standard. I just wanted to check that. Trying to back the pack up a little bit as we approach the starting lines.
Keep an eye on the lights. The start sequence will begin as soon as the grid has formed. Be ready with the...
Alright, the start of Season 2 in our F1 2021 My Team Career Mode. Bahrain, and we're underway. And predictably, Yuki Tsunoda gets a rocking start off the line. Tsunoda just launched like a rocket ship. Off the line. Schumacher got the P3. Look at the replay of that. He might have cut the corner. Schumi cut the corner there a little bit. He cut the corner. I don't know if he has a penalty for that or has to give back the place. We'll see, I guess. But in any regard, Yuki Tsunoda leads after turn 1. I was unable to hold on to the pole, or to the lead. Let's see if we can get it back. DRS activated this lap and we're right on the back of Tsunoda.
That was the fastest lap of the race.
He can dive into turn 1 potentially. Little lead. Yes, we can. We are back in a P1. And we have DRS, which will help us now. But I think we're going to be fighting Yuki Tsunoda for the rest of this race. If we can't pull away from him. Probably could take that corner a little bit better. Too much on the curb. I think I'm out of Sonoda's DRS range. I'm not sure. I'll have to find out here in a second. I think I am. Yep, I broke the barrier, so no DRS for Sonoda. To our first mid-session save of Season 2.
We're leading our teammate by 12.0 seconds.
That was not a good corner.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the softs. No issues with tyre wear for now. Keep taking care of them.
Schumacher has dropped back a couple spots. He's fallen from 3rd to 5th.
The car behind is dropping back by about 0.3 a lap. We're going to box this lap, push hard on the in-lap.
So I'm not entirely sure what the play is from everyone else on a strategy front. I really don't know. First year, pretty obvious two-stop, but you know, as we go deeper into the career mode, the tire wear for everyone's going to get better, so yeah. I'm not really sure if this is going to be a one-stop or a two-stop. It says two-stop, but we'll see how far we can stretch these tires. They're currently at 51% wear, at least on the left front. Fortunately, we're the leaders, so we really can't, you know, see what everyone else is doing. I think I'll stretch it out a little bit longer. I don't know if I can make it to one stop. It's going to be very close, given how our tire wear on the left front's at 54% already. Sonoda pit this time? No, he does not. He stays out on track for another lap.
Green flag.
Uh-oh. Somebody's had an issue. We got people pitting. Somebody's out of the race, I think. Oh, is that Gasly? Yeah, I think that's Pierre Gasly. In the 10, the AlphaTauri, he has just lost an engine. Parked up right at the entrance of pit road, or just before pit lane. Meanwhile, we've got Ricardo pitting, we've got Perez pitting, we've got, I believe this is Jack Aiken pitting, and we've got Charles Leclerc pitting. And they are going for another set of softs, so they're definitely doing a two-stop race. Yep, and there's Gasly out of the session. I think he's well out of the way, so I don't anticipate the need for a safety car. I actually forgot to check. Is everyone starting on softs? I got a couple people on mediums. Bottas, George Russell, Nikita Mazepin, Antonio Giovinazzi, Callum Ilott, and Nicholas Latifi. Maybe I shouldn't risk it that much with the tire wear. I'll come in.
Right, come in at the end of this lap. Affirmative. Medium tyres at the next stop.
Sonoda's going on hards. Sonoda's going on hards. That's an interesting strategy call.
Complete, go now. Okay, you only have to stop once now. One stop left.
So we're basically gonna have to push on these mediums and then throw on softs and go from there. Fortunately, you know, with Tsunoda on the hards, he's going to be slower. And that means for the end of the race, we're going to be super, super quick.
Brilliant. Nice move.
I'm out in a bit of traffic here, which includes our teammate Christian Lundgaard. Get by him pretty easily as I lose it around the corner. That's actually a nice pass. Around the outside, switcheroo, back around on the outside that inside that turns to outside. So yeah, so Yuki Tsunoda is playing a very interesting strategy game here. Don't know if it's going to work out for him.
Christian is coming in for his stop.
So really what we gotta do is...
The gap behind us is 1.5 seconds.
What we really have to do here is we have to push like crazy to get as far away from Tsunoda as possible. Now, I'm curious to see what my teammate went with. He went with hards. Okay, so he is going to the end of the race. Yeah, So we really have mixed strategies throughout this entire field when you look at it, because Yuki Tsunoda, we know he's going on hards. And then we have both Aston Martins, the Ferrari of Sainz, the Alpine of Alonso, my teammate, and the Alfa Romeo of Guan Yu Zhou all going for hard tires. So really a wide variety of strategies throughout the entire field. So the guys on hards are obviously going to the end. The guys on softs, who pitted for another set of softs, are going to have to pit for a set of mediums before the end of this race. And meanwhile, I'm the only person who's gone soft to medium, so I'll be on a fresh set of soft tires for the end of the race. I really don't know how this is going to play out at this stage. Oh, Lando Norris is out of the race. I think there must have been another engine failure. He was running up there in the top 10. Yep, you see the puff of smoke. He pulls it up to the side. He is done for the day. Unfortunate for Lando, who did win a race last year. He won Baku. See how much Tsunoda gets held up by Bottas here. Bottas, who still has not pitted, by the way. Tsunoda is gonna get by him pretty easily. I presume Bottas will be going onto a set of hard tires for the end of this race. Maybe this lap or the next lap.
Okay, clear.
I'd say Bottas actually has a decent shot at a podium now. Right on a podium because Leclerc is closing in, but has a decent shot to get some strong points here. Excuse me. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens here with Tsunoda, because he is running in seventh, or second, 7.5 seconds back. He's on the hard tire. And he's got Leclerc charging behind him on the softs, and he's not that far behind. He's only 2 seconds back. And Leclerc will obviously have to stop again, but I wonder if he and Tsunoda will end up doing any battling, which of course would help me out tremendously.
The car behind has started to drop back. There's a gap beginning to form.
And Leclerc probably won't pit until like lap 28 or 17 or 18, so Leclerc could definitely catch and pass Tsunoda here. If he's within DRS.
Gap to teammate behind is 34.4 seconds. They're on fresh hards. They're in 13th. The time last lap was a 1:33.1. They're in 8th. The gap is 29.5 seconds. The time last lap was a 1:31.8.
Let's take a look at Leclerc, see where he is. He is there, but not quite close enough to make a move. At that point in the track. Ricardo in for his second stop. that pretty much assures that when we come out after our second stop, we will be P4, as Mick Schumacher is almost 30 seconds behind.
You're leading the pack. P1.
Tsunoda is behind you.
Okay, the gap behind is 10.9 seconds. They're on old hards. You have 4 laps till your pit window opens. 13 laps to go. Pulling out a second a lap on the car behind.
Leclerc pits, Aitken pits. Schumacher will presumably pit as well. And as he does, where is my teammate? And where are the Aston Martins? I'm curious to see. There they are. So to take a look here, so Leclerc will be able to leapfrog the Aston Martins, which is key for his race. So he'll be on the better tire, so he can presumably pull away. Not the case for Jack Aitken. He's going to be stuck behind all that traffic. So current running order is myself in first, Tsunoda is second, Leclerc third, Vettel fourth, Stroll 5th, Sainz 6th, Alonso 7th, Bottas 8th, Aitken 9th, and my teammate holding on to a top 10 spot, though I'm sure he will be under threat from people who have already pitted onto the medium tire. With that, we are now 34 seconds ahead of third place, so essentially from here on out, it's going to be a race of, okay, how much more of a gap can I put to Tsunoda before my pit stop? And then after that, how much can I gain back on him as I chase him to the end of the race?
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the softs.
And on those worn medium tires, I just went purple sector 3, so that's an indication of our pace on worn mediums. Boy, oh boy, we're going to be pretty quick on those soft tires when we come in on the next lap.
Careful, we think you're going to start losing some tyre grip around now.
One more lap around.
Pit window open. Let's box this lap. Pitting this lap then. Come into the pits at the end of this lap. Roger that. Soft tyres at the next pit stop. We're leading our teammate by 46.4 seconds. Gap to teammate behind is 47.4 seconds. They're on old hards. They're in 10th. The time last lap was a 1:33.0. Confirmed, we'll receive you at the end of this lap. Roger that. Soft tyres at the next pit stop.
Alright, so we've gotten the gap to Sonoda to be about 14 seconds. So, we'll see what the gap is when we pit and when we come out. We will come out in second place. There's a question of how far behind Sonoda are we? Slower
go, go.
stop, but that's okay.
That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops.
Alright. So we're about 8 seconds behind Sonoda. He is on worn hards. We are on a fresh set of soft tires. Let's see what we can do in these final few laps. How quickly can we run him down? And can we run him down at all? Saving up the ERS for this next lap here. And we were almost 8.5 seconds behind when we came out of the pits. Without using any ERS, we cut it down nearly 2.5 seconds. So we're basically running qualifying laps to the end of the race at this point. I was 8.5 seconds behind Sonoda when I came out of the pits, and on the outlap, just after the outlap, I'm already 5.5 seconds behind him, so I chopped off 3 seconds on just the outlap.
Our gap behind is 13.7 seconds.
And I've already chopped off 2 seconds off Sonoda's lead on this lap. That corner's always very tricky. I already have the fastest lap of the race, by the way, so all I'm doing here is just sort of secure that fact. New fastest lap of the Grand Prix.
That was the fastest lap of the race so far.
We're closing in on Yuki Tsunoda. We gain another 3 seconds on that lap. And we are so much quicker than Yuki Tsunoda right now. It's crazy. So much quicker. In 2 laps, and that just shows the tire difference. It might be different if Tsunoda was on mediums. But on hards, I mean, it's not even close. We've gained, the outlap, and, a lap and a half later, we're right behind them. We are within DRS range. We're not even at 5 laps to go yet. Of course, the tires are going to fall off by the end of the run, but won't matter until the last 2 or 3 laps. Right now, what matters is that we are behind Yuki Tsunoda, within DRS range, within striking distance. And I'll hold behind him here so I can get the DRS down the main straight. We might get him before that we even get to turn 1. Just gonna blow by him here. Not even a threat. Not even a real challenge. Alrighty, Tsunoda has fallen out of DRS range. Meanwhile, let's take a look at the rest of the running order outside of the top 2. So Leclerc, we know, is in P3. He has pretty much secured that spot. He's all on his own. The Aston Martins are still P4 and 5. Their biggest challenge, not Leclerc, so both Aston Martins, Sainz and Alonso are on the same strategy. Bottas did a 1-stop, but he's also on hards. Jack Aitken really hasn't been able to do anything. So let's see. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Daniel Ricciardo has whipped 10th. That's as I expected. The people on medium tires were stuck behind some of the slower cars on hards. We're going to get by them. So Ricciardo's 10th. Ocon is 11th. Schumacher is 12th. Perez 13th. My teammate is 14th, which is pretty good for his first race. 15th is Giovinazzi. 16th is Russell. 17th is Mazepin. 18th is Guan Yu Zhou. 19th is Callum Ilott. And 20th is Nicholas Latifi.
our teammate by 41.7 seconds.
And we are actually catching Nicholas Latifi. So we're likely going to be putting him a lap down before the end of this race.
4 laps of fuel remaining.
Comes Latifi. We're gonna get back by. We're gonna get by him pretty easily. No threat. He has a back marker, so of course he lets us by. Two laps to go.
We've only got 2 laps of fuel left.
Here we go. Last lap of the Bahrain Grand
This
Prix.
is your final lap of the race.
Because they're coming up on a trio of lap cars ahead of us. Probably won't actually get them before the end of the race. I believe that's Barney Joe in the Alfa Romeo, along with the 2 Haas cars. Sucks for them. They're going to have to go around another lap to finish the race. But for us, the two-stop works out for us in the end. Come around the final corner. Start off Season 2 with a bang. As we will win the season opener in Bahrain. There you go.
Absolutely fantastic. It's a brilliant result. Well done.
That's it for another spectacular Grand Prix here in Bahrain and a real champion's drive to take the win. Anthony Davidson, a resounding victory today. What set them apart from the rest?
Well, this was a real team victory. They put together a solid strategy today that appeared well suited to the conditions out on track. The driver did everything that was expected of them in the moment to really execute the team's plan to perfection. A shining example of how F1 really is a team sport.
Well, I'm thoroughly exhausted after the excitement of that race, but I'm sure it's nothing compared to our drivers here. They've worked hard to make it up there, and it's great to see them make their way out onto the podium. So let's review the updated driver standings. And after a thrilling race, we see a new name heading up the championship standings. Some amazing talent out on the track today. But Anthony, who would you pick as your driver of the day?
It's got to be Valtteri Bottas, a commanding performance that I think had the audience's eyes glued to him for the majority of the race.
Let's move on to the constructors. The owner-drivers team moved to the top of the table. Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
So that was the Bahrain Grand Prix. Interesting race in terms of the strategy, split between one stops and two stops. I think it would have been a much more interesting race had Tsunoda, basically if I had been up front the whole time and Tsunoda hadn't been, where he was, he hadn't beat me off the line so brilliantly. I think it could have been a more interesting race in terms of the Aston Martins maybe in contention for a podium and not as far behind Leclerc and Tsunoda as they were, but nevertheless, that's where they finished. Good result for our teammate in his debut, 14th, not too bad. No need to look at the driver standings after the first race, but in terms of the constructors, Red Bull not scoring points is interesting, and as of now, even with the podium finish, Mercedes are only fourth, as both Ferrari and Aston Martin outscored them, which is interesting. So, there you go. That was the Bahrain Grand Prix. easily beat Vettel this week in the rivalry. Before we go into the next weekend, I might consider purchasing another upgrade to the personnel facility to further help Lingard's ability on track. Big time base payout. Let's see what's available personnel to purchase though. Of course, unlike Season 1, we're not going to have a long break until the next race because China is going to be right up next. So, we have a marketing department event. First, we'll go to weight training for Christian Lungard. How is he looking? So he probably needs more experience and pace. Let's go for the simulator. And then marketing.
We have another one for you. We're happy regardless of what you choose.
Okay, Formula One are organizing a charity event, and they've approached us to ask if Lungard is able to do a meet and greet with the highest donors. Gotta decline that. The acclaim is good, but I don't want him to lose focus.
Thanks for handling that.
Sponsorship renewal for Zyneto and Zigzag. We'll do that. Go to customization, delivery, sponsor decals. Zyneto goes here. Zyneto goes there. Zigzag goes there. Zyneto will go there. Everything's got in the car. I need the morale boost for all the departments, so I'll take care of that with that, and we'll do driver promotional filming. It's going to help Lungard, but I want to get the morale of the departments up, so particularly the power and the durability, so felt that was a necessary thing to do, so yeah, that was, and the morale's high, so that's good. And I think with that in mind, I'll purchase a durability upgrade to get that MGU K upgrade back that we lost at the end of the first season. So we have upgrades coming in all 4 departments for the Spanish Grand Prix, if everything goes well. So yeah, that was it for the season opener, and we'll see you next time for the Chinese Grand Prix.